I lingered at the threshold, my eyes locked onto them with relentless intensity. She remained by his side, and the undeniable connection that bound them was clear. He cast a fleeting look my way, doubt flickering in his gaze as she held him steady with her steadfast presence. Before we embark on this journey, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on the idea of liking and subscribing. The channel experiences remarkable growth as a result. Your presence is genuinely appreciated. Shall we set forth on our journey? For how long have you engaged in this endeavor? She remained resolute. It might stretch to 6 years or possibly even 7. I observed her intently, seeking to uncover the hidden depths that lay beneath her serene exterior. She sat with ease, her hands gently placed in her lap, radiating assurance, unburdened by anxiety or the pressure of anticipation, embodying a serene control. Are you genuinely untroubled by the thought of being observed? Her eyes remained unwavering. Absolutely not. The presence of someone who is truly attentive holds immense value for me. I allowed the response to linger in the space between us, suspended just long enough to embrace the warmth it carried. Have you ever collaborated with couples? Many elements come into play, but in the end, it all hinges on who holds the reins of authority. My eyebrow arched in intrigue. And who might you think that could be? Thou. She moved forward with resolute purpose. Undoubtedly, it is you. A smile slowly blossomed on my lips. Merely sufficient, lacking in significance. I adjusted my position in the chair, uncrossing my legs. The hem of my dress has been tailored. In that instant, I found myself enveloped in a fog of doubt, questioning whether the occurrences had been orchestrated or were simply the result of coincidence. She made a mental note. In stillness, I chose to bide my time with unwavering patience. What if my yearning is simply to observe? I presented my inquiry. Rest assured, for I shall ensure that nothing escapes your notice. That one struck deeper than I anticipated. I inhaled deeply and rose, each movement fluid and intentional. The gentle tap of my heels kissed the hardwood floor as I glided effortlessly toward my rear. I grasped the envelope we had discussed and turned to meet her gaze. I extended a hand forward. With one hand, she seized it, her eyes meeting mine in a deep, unspoken stillness. I will send you a message to let you know when to arrive, as I have noted. She nodded, a flicker of enthusiasm illuminating her eyes. In an instant, she vanished. Neither urgency nor parting exists. A fleeting look cast over her shoulder, one that reached far beyond simple obligation. As dusk settled, I found myself nestled in bed next to my husband. We huddled together, wrapped in a comforting aura of intimacy and tranquility. He encircled my waist with his arms as we moved closer, enveloped in a gentle embrace. I led him with each breath, each deliberate movement of my body beneath his. I naturally aligned myself with the rhythm we both shared. His lips grazed my throat. A gentle sigh escaped my lips as my fingers glided through his hair, the other hand resting on his chest, feeling the connection that united us. He toiled, pouring every fragment of his essence into the endeavor before him. I offered a measured reply in return. An overwhelming surge of feeling enveloped me, rendering me momentarily speechless. He released a soft sigh, settling beside me, the atmosphere enveloped in the residual warmth of our closeness. We remained motionless, caught in a moment of stillness. In the quiet of the room, we took a moment to regain our breath. That was genuinely remarkable, he finally said. Indeed, I whispered softly. It was truly remarkable. He contorted his neck, grappling with the effort to inhale. Could that have been a premature token for my birthday celebration? I gently pressed my lips against his shoulder. I have created something truly extraordinary for tomorrow. The following evening came swiftly, as though time had bent back upon itself. The room was awash in sunlight, wrapping it in a cozy and welcoming atmosphere. She lay back elegantly on the couch, radiating a sense of calm. She captivated the room the instant she stepped inside. Her eyes flickered to the entrance. Where could he possibly be concealed? I resolutely maintained my stance. I replied, "Homecoming is just around the corner." She offered a delicate nod. "Did you share the message with him?" I extended my hand for a soft shake. At this moment, no. He has dedicated the entire day to a world of reflection. It elicited a subtle smile from her, one that was both intentional and perceptive. She settled back with a comfort that hinted at an intimate knowledge of her environment. "Do you genuinely believe he will take that plunge?" I expressed my disagreement, stating that I do not believe that to be true. I am aware. The distance that separated us hung in a gentle equilibrium, silently poised, simply biding its time in anticipation. She opted to refrain from exploring the issue further. Watch as the light pirouettes across the floor, melding seamlessly with the soft chime of keys. The door groaned as it swung ajar, unveiling the mysteries that awaited beyond. He entered, a bag casually draped over his shoulder, the tie dangles carelessly, the jacket left behind. He noticed her at once. He brought himself to a standstill. Silence. He shot a brief glance my way before redirecting his attention to her. Could this possibly be? I inclined my head in agreement. She is the delightful surprise that lies in wait for you. He blinked, briefly captivated by the serenity of the scene. Are you truly serious? Entirely. She stood exuding an undeniable confidence. She moved gracefully across the room, coming to a halt before him. She moved with a tranquil resolve. Once more, he turned his gaze in my direction. I offered another nod. It's perfectly fine, I replied. She has come to extend her help. With a delicate yet confident touch, she brushed her fingers against his cheek. In quietude, she approached and softly placed her lips upon his. It revealed itself slowly, imbued with a distinct sense of clarity and intention. After their parting, he stood still, enveloped in contemplation, relishing the fleeting moment. I edged nearer and gently took hold of his hand. As I led them toward the room, I leaned in and whispered softly, "Here lies your unexpected delight. Embrace the stillness, relish every moment." The bedroom radiated a surprising warmth. I nestled into the couch, positioned to face the bed, my posture elegant, legs delicately crossed, each nerve tingling with anticipation for what was to come. I had mostly held my thoughts in reserve since our arrival, speaking only when necessary to extend my welcome, gently reminding him that this was still his moment, and in a different sense, mine as well. She hovered near him, the space that separated them nearly vanishing. Her hands glided effortlessly to the front of his pants, exuding a calm assurance, every movement deliberate and poised. A resolute grip prevailed, an unwavering flow devoid of any doubt or indecision. Her gaze met his for a brief instant, neither searching for answers nor delivering orders, but rather acting as a connection to the present moment. He turned his eyes in my direction, and a serene stillness enveloped the air around us. Silence wrapped around us, but his eyes spoke volumes, a final request for affirmation that required no utterance. I nodded, infused with purpose and assurance, contained everything he required. With a graceful motion, she beckoned him to take a seat at the edge of the bed before delicately lowering herself to join him. Her fingers glided over his thighs as she approached him. He released a tremulous breath, clutching the blanket with intensity as his head tilted back and his eyes softly shut. Every vestige of uncertainty he held vanished into thin air. Her movements exuded purpose, unwavering in their precision. She melded with him, attuning herself to each change in his breath, every delicate signal. A steady rhythm emerged, firm and intentional, anchoring him firmly in his position. I observed as my breath became ensnared in my throat. I adjusted my position, introducing subtle modifications. A quiet tension started to build inside me, slow but relentless. My hand lay gently on my thigh, concealed beneath the sheer elegance of my dress. I held back from reaching out to it. I allowed it to hover in that moment, bracing myself against the escalating tension. After a brief pause, she stood up. Her hand glided effortlessly along his torso as she rose, then deftly approached the buttons of his shirt. With deliberate care, she unwrapped each one, as if she held a deep understanding of every nuanced aspect of the ritual. Layer by layer, his garments slipped away, exposing his chest to rise and fall unencumbered beneath the gentle glow of the room's warm light. At last, the time had arrived for her. With a fluid elegance, she discarded her attire, embodying both modesty and authority. Each gesture carries a profound significance. With effortless grace, each layer was peeled away, exposing nothing but an empty abyss beyond. With a graceful and assured movement, she guided him back onto the bed and poised herself elegantly above him. He yielded without resistance. She shifted her position, finding a rhythm that mirrored the ebb and flow of his breath. Each movement was intentional, crafted to foster a bond rather than assert dominance. She remained steadfast, her gaze fixed on him with unwavering fervor. His hands lingered gently at her waist, a delicate caress that conveyed unspoken emotions. His head tilted back. As time flowed onward, his breath deepened and their bodies intertwined, sinking further into a profound embrace. A soft murmur escaped my lips, surprising and fragile. My hand lingered just beneath my dress, suspended in a manner that was both delicate and undeniably clear. I stayed linked. The sensation enveloped me, a crescendo of tension building within, warmth coursing beneath my skin, and a yearning igniting with each exchanged glance. The allure of observation had diminished. The allure was intensifying. I pressed my knees together, a subtle gesture of restraint. My breath became shallow. She nestled closer, seeking her equilibrium against his chest. A profound, echoing tone emanated from him, rich and significant. That was the pivotal moment. I ascended from the couch, every motion deliberate and measured. My legs quivered faintly, not from unease, but as a consequence of the prolonged stillness I had maintained. I continued forward, each stride intentional and calculated. I kept my gaze fixed on them as I traversed the distance that lay between us. I had transcended the role of a mere observer. I paused at the brink of the bed, my pulse calming, gaze fixed on the pair before me. From her lofty position, she gazed down at him, exuding an aura of tranquility and grace, while a soft warmth enveloped her as their eyes locked. With a gentle elegance, she withdrew from him and stood tall, offering the distance she perceived I required. With purpose, I pressed onward. She approached, her fingers gently grazing my arms before flowing seamlessly down my sides. I leaned in and kissed her with an audacious fervor that left no room for uncertainty or hesitation. The warmth enveloped them, an unmistakable certainty hanging in the air, a bond that needed no words to be felt. She gave it back completely, her figure gently merging with my own. In unison, we pivoted to confront him. He perched on the edge of the bed, his chest rising and falling rhythmically, eyes wide and vigilant, capturing every movement with a focus that suggested he was hardly breathing at all. We knelt in reverence before him. I laid my foundation on one side while she established hers on the opposite end. Our fingers brushed briefly before we found our rhythm intertwining, moving effortlessly, united in silence. My lips brushed against his skin with deliberate grace, as hers danced in a seamless melody. As I halted, she drew nearer, and when she withdrew, I found my position once more. His muscles tightened, his legs solidified. One hand clutched the blanket, the other remained tightly balled at his side, his entire being thrumming with energy beneath our attentive gaze. Still, we flowed together, seamless, rehearsed, instinctual. At last, she stood and reached out her hand. I welcomed it, and she guided me to ascend with assurance. She started to peel away my layers, unfastening one strap after another, each garment cascading to the floor with a deliberate grace. Her movements glided with a purposeful elegance, suffused with a serene concentration. In my moment of complete vulnerability, she drew near and captured my lips once more, this time with a languid, intentional passion, as though conveying a feeling that transcended the limitations of words. I retreated to the bed, her eyes tracking my every movement. Upon my arrival, I reclined, my heartbeat calm yet thrumming with life. She hovered just above, her gaze locked onto mine with unwavering intensity. It seems you couldn't resist the urge to transcend the boundaries of a simple observer, could you? I smiled, my voice a mere whisper. I yearned for a clearer perspective. She glided effortlessly between my legs, descending with a measured elegance. Her lips drew near with a soft grace, each motion deliberate and confident. My head tilted back as her rhythm deepened, neither hurried nor hesitant, but wholly deliberate. I extended my hand toward the edge of the sheets, anchoring myself in the intensifying sensation that pulsed rhythmically beneath my skin. At that moment, he came into view. He ascended onto the bed behind her, every motion deliberate. His hands softly found their place on her waist, and gradually they started to sway together in perfect unison. Their rhythm began to crystallize, echoing deeply within me, initially surfacing gently, then gradually growing in strength. Every gesture he presented to her resonated in the way she inclined toward me. With each step, her rhythm evolved, and her concentration intensified. It coursed through her very being. Her breath brushed against my skin, warm and inviting. Her body fused seamlessly with his, and the outcome was a surge that enveloped me, resolute, unwavering, swelling ever more immense. The tension within me surged, an untamed force propelled by sheer velocity. My legs drew nearer, my hold on the sheets grew firmer, and when it enveloped me, it arrived with a rush, sharp and total, a surrender I found utterly irresistible. A sharp breath slipped from my lips, my body quivering beneath her touch. She remained unwaveringly by my side through every single moment of it. It was only upon uncovering my true place that she at last raised her gaze. Behind her, his breath came in a tumult of ragged, uneven gasps. His movements had become more and more unpredictable, propelled by an intense feeling of urgency. At last, he drew closer, his forehead gently resting against her shoulder, his whole being yielding to a profound sense of peace. She moved aside, her demeanor steady and intentional. He inched closer, a breath trapped in his throat as he surrendered to the soft allure of the pillow beside me. Our fingers intertwined in a gentle clasp. I offered them a tender hug. His lips brushed against mine, gentle and lasting. I smiled softly and whispered, my breath quickening in excitement, wishing you a truly delightful birthday celebration. How would you respond if you found yourself in this predicament? To embrace it or to reject it? We welcome you to share your reflections in the comments section below. I would be keen to know your thoughts. Before you depart, kindly pause to like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon to stay updated on what lies ahead. Your presence and engagement are truly valued. Until we meet again.